Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Dear brothers and sisters, peace be upon all of you. Welcome to our nightly program, Spiritual Fireside Chat. I am going to start with the recitation of the Quran, inshallah, from Surah At-Tawbah, chapter 9, and the verses are 71 and 72. And then after the recitation, inshallah, I will introduce my guest for tonight. Let me put the Quranic verses on the screen, and then I will start with the recitation first. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. والمؤمنون والمؤمنات بعضهم أولياء بعض يأمرون بالمعروف وينهون عن المنكر ويقيمون الصلاة ويؤتون الزكاة ويطيعون الله ورسوله أولئك سيرحمهم الله إن الله عزيز حكيم. وعد الله المؤمنين والمؤمنات جنات تجري من تحتها الأنهار خالدين فيها ومساكن طيبة في جنات عدن ورضوان من الله أكبر ذلك هو الفوز العظيم. صدق الله العظيم. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين. الفاتحة. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين. Dear brothers and sisters, peace be upon all of you again. Welcome to our program, Spiritual Fireside Chat. Dear brothers and sisters, from the religious perspective, everything comes down to three things. First, having faith and doing the right thing and staying away from the wrong things. Now, tonight's topic is the thin line between the doing of right, what is right and what is wrong. And this is a beautiful topic. And inshallah, I have a special guest for this beautiful topic. And our guest is one of our khatibs and also the former chair of Islamic Center of Southern California, and also the former head of religious committee, our beloved brother Hassan Zeenni. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, brother Hassan.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, and then my camera is on?
Everything is set, good to go. Alhamdulillah.
All right. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. I'm so sorry, I have, the Lakers are still playing. So I have my kids down there with my wife. So if you hear some scream, it's not me, it's my kids.
Perfectly fine.
Yes. So today I will be kind of looking at Surah Al-Kahf, chapter 18, and I will pick the first, the story about the two neighbors who had a garden. One of them obviously was richer than the other one, has plenty of wealth, plenty of children and so on. But what I picked, although I'll come back to the story because there's also a moral lesson from it, but I picked something from it that I would like to share with you. We notice that in verse 1837, قال له صاحبه وهو يحاوره أكفرت بالذي خلقك من تراب ثم من نطفة ثم سواك رجلا. And his friend answered him in the course of their dialogue, will you blaspheme against him who has created you out of dust and then out of a drop of sperm, and in the end has fashioned thee into a complete man? If you notice here, the Quran is use the word yuhawiruhu. And then when we go to another verse in the same chapter, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is talking about that وَكَانَ الْإِنسَانُ أَكْثَرَ شَيْءٍ جَدَلًا. It's talking about the human being, that he uses the word jadala. He is the one who argued to the point of contentions. And I was wondering, I went back and forth, and I was wondering the different terminology that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is using in the Quran between yuhawiruhu and al-jadal. And I started to look deeper into to see what is the difference and what can we learn from it. Because if you notice, both of them are between two individuals or two parties, right? Both of them are using the same language. Brother Asim, I'm sorry, I just want to always respect the time. Right now it's 8:39. What time do I have to stop?
At 9 p.m. inshallah.
At what time?
9.
9. Oh, you're very generous. Okay. So they both yuhawiruhu and akthara al-jadal, they're two different terminology, two different verbs that the Quran is using. And when you look at them from a macro level, look at them from a distance, you will realize. So if I'm looking at two individuals having a al-hiwar, a dialogue, and I'm looking at two individuals or two parties are kind of engaged in an argument from a distance, they pretty much might look the same. Both are using, there's two different parties. Both are using the words to communicate. I'm talking about at least, the verbal, but both of them are using the words to communicate, and they both are engaged in such discourse. So what is the difference? الحوار يحاوره here is when two individuals are listening to each other. They don't interrupt one another. They are not raising their voices on top of one another, but really are listening to one another, giving each other enough time to speak what is on their mind. And what is key about the al-hiwar, which is the dialogue, is both are trying to have the one purpose, which is the truth. So as you notice, so now you have al-hiwar, which is both one purpose, which is the truth. But al-mujadala, which is the Quran, is cautioning us, because this is a weakness, or it is how you say, it is an ill in our personality, in our character. وَكَانَ الْإِنسَانُ أَكْثَرَ شَيْءٍ جَدَلًا. The human being, the way we are, because as we know, the tongue doesn't get tired, right? It's one of the muscles that can go on 24 hours without getting tired, not like the rest of the muscles. Subhanallah. So the tongue here can go on and on. And al-jidal here, the Quran is talking about, watch carefully, because the jidal is in a state of argument. And argument, excess, akthar, means to an excess. And the difference between the two is the argument, and most of the time it is heated, you will find yourself, you are not engaged, you are engaged with different purpose. The purpose is to prove the other side wrong, to prove to them that they don't get it, to prove to them that you are right and they are wrong. And what is the purpose, if you notice, what is the purpose of when we are arguing with someone? It gets very contentious. Why? Because you are trying to prove that person is wrong. And sometimes, unfortunately, we speak in a very condescending way. In other words, is he or she is stupid and you are not. Of course, the other side will never take it. And what is the difference? The thin line between the al-hiwar and al-mujadala, between the dialogue and the argument, is a thin line, which is the purpose. One of them is the purpose that you want to reach the truth. So you're focused not on the other side, not on the one that is in front of you. You're focused on the truth. You're seeking the truth. So you want to listen to it because you don't have it. And it's just a dialogue. And you want to hear the other side. He or she might have the half side of the truth, as they always say, right? No one ever have the full truth except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So it is usually you are seeking the truth, and it is in this al-hiwar between the two individuals who are, the purpose is the truth, where the other one is the purpose is to prove the other person is wrong. So from this here, I wanted to highlight how when we are involved when we are with someone else, whether she's my wife, whether it's my husband, whether it is my children, most of the time we go into the argument more than we go into the dialogue. And the thin line here is the purpose. One of them is the purpose is you are seeking the truth. You want reach a point what is best, what is right, not trying to prove the other side is wrong. And when I was preparing, I was reading this a few days ago when I was preparing, I said to myself, I found myself many times that I was more in the mujadala, as the Quran rightfully described me personally, rather than al-hiwar, which is the dialogue. So that is the first thing I wanted to, as you can tell, the thin line is the purpose. I'd like to go to the same story. I just wanted to talk about the money. Also, I wanted to, and here, excuse me, here I go to verse number 46. المال والبنون زينة الحياة الدنيا والباقيات الصالحات خير عند ربك ثوابا وخير أملا Wealth and children are an adornment of this world's life, but good deeds, the fruit whereof endures forever, are of far greater merit in the sustainer's sight and a far better source of hope. A lot of times we hear this verse, المال والبنون زينة الحياة الدنيا, and right away when you are, you have wealth and you're doing well, and somebody comes and tell you, quote this verse. And when you take this verse out of context, it sounds like the Quran is cautioning us that money, I want to focus on the money in this, the money and your offspring, your lineage, your kids. These are the beauty of life. This is what makes you look good, makes you look strong, gives you power. And I want to focus on money. So if you take this verse out of context, brothers and sisters, it shows that the Quran is telling us that we should really not pay attention to money, not to worry about money, but or about our children, but really to focus on al-baqiyatu as-salihatu, which is the everlasting good deeds. And if you take this context, if you take this verse out of context, out of what came before, why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying this, then it is a very misleading. What is before all of this and why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is using this verse here, and I'll show you the contrast with another verse, you will find that here the story of these two friends, they are neighbors. One of them is very well-to-do. Allah has bestowed upon him wealth and a lot of fruits and a lot of money and a lot of children, where this state of resources that Allah has given him really made him boast, made him feel arrogant, that I have more money than you, I have more kids than you, I am better than you. And that is where that man, and the Quran is saying is, وَهُوَ ظَالِمُ نَفْسِهِ, when he had wronged against himself. There's nothing wrong, and I will come to this. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one who provides. But the problem is when the wealth and money intoxicate the individual and he or she become arrogant about it. And I have given a talk in the past about arrogancy, how arrogance, the Quran cautions and warns us against arrogance, how it ruins people, it ruins societies, it ruins individuals, it ruins anybody who allows arrogance seeps into his heart, it corrupts it, and it ruins whatever comes out. So here the Quran is saying is, you've wronged yourself by reaching a level of arrogancy. That means now you are better. And the moment you feel you are better, then I don't have to go through. You can realize when arrogance destroys the individual, destroys the relationship between you and others, and so on and so forth. But what led to that arrogance is what? Is the wealth and the money. So the Quran is reminding here all of us that you have to watch carefully. When money and lineage and more kids and more numbers, right, means more power, if that intoxicates you and you become arrogant, then the money has ruined you. And here the Quran is saying is, what's better than this type of money that ruins its owner is to do good. That means the everlasting good deed is much better for that individual who allowed the money to intoxicate him and to ruin him and to make him boast and brag and look in a condescending way into his neighbor who was less fortunate financially. Because at the end of the day, who had given him all of this? And not only that, he becomes arrogant, and his arrogancy, as we have seen in many places in the Quran, as arrogancy intoxicated the mind where he doesn't believe he needs God. I don't need him. And by the way, if there is a day of judgment, and if I go before God, guess what? He will give me more than this. Look how arrogant he is. First, he denies that all of this is from God, like Qarun, You know the story of Moses. That's I am the one who brought all of this, not God. Who gave you all of this? I did it, nobody else. So that arrogance, which we talked about. So here, this verse now, it is in the context of the story. When the money really corrupts you and you become arrogant, that it will destroy you. And the Quran is cautioning against this type of money. But when we look at, we stay with the issue of money. When we look at in chapter 17, verse 6, I'm not gonna quote the Arabic because of time. And after a time, we allowed you to prevail against them once again and aided you with wealth and offsprings and made you more numerous. Here, the money, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying is, we made this group more victorious, succeed with what? With money. And the Quran talks, there's plenty of verses, the Quran says, وَحُبِّ الْخَيْرِ شَدِيد, that we love that money. And Allah used the khair. Khair means goodness. So and the Prophet ﷺ said, when the money is used in good things, it is khair, it is good. You'll be rewarded, and it is something that is good. But when it is used for the wrong thing, it is bad. So here again, the thin line between it's the money the same. You work the money and you earn the money, but when you're humble, and when you are using this money for a good cause, is good. And the thin line is when you are arrogant and you use this money for the wrong thing, that is the wrong thing, and you will be punished for it. So again, in this money issue, it's a thin line, what you are using the money for. And that comes from the heart. If you're arrogant, 95% of the time you use it for the wrong thing. Even if you do good, you will brag about it. You will tell the person, I've been good to you, right? And the Quran really is against that. So this is, again, when we're talking about the money, the issue of using the money in the right way or in the wrong way. Again, it is a thin line. Last but not least, I want to talk about Dhul Qarnayn. You know, the story after Moses, the Quran comes and introduces us to this man who it happened to be a righteous man. But I wanted to really underline something that I found also to be an eye-opener. It is verse, I believe it is verse 84. Behold, you talk about Dhul Qarnayn, the story of Dhul Qarnayn, which is the story that comes after the story of Moses and the righteous man. So it is chapter 18, verse 84. Behold, we established him securely on earth and endowed him with the knowledge of the right means to achieve anything that he might set out to achieve. وَأَتَيْنَاهُ مِنْ كُلِّ شَيْءٍ سَبَبًا فَأَتْبَعَ سَبَبًا. Here we're talking about a righteous man. It's a beautiful story. I invite you to read it. And it happened that Allah has given him a knowledge, the science of the day. The man was able, if you follow the verses, the man knows chemistry. He knows engineering. He knows construction. He had the wealth. When they told him, help us and protect us against this evil that they keep hitting us so often, and they can take our resources and really they do us wrong, and we're willing to give you money. He said, no, I don't need your money, because he saw an opportunity with his knowledge, and I want to focus on knowledge. And knowledge here is the knowledge of the day. Whatever science that you have, whether you're bright in mathematics, you are bright in engineering, you're bright in medicine, whatever you're bright at, whatever you are great at, like him, he's great at the science of that day, the science of his time. He uses that science to do what? To help people, to protect people. Again, what we find, brothers and sisters, it's a beautiful story. And he used chemistry, as I said, he used engineering, he used construction, and he built the dam that protects them from others. And you will find the Quran talks about at the end, and he says, قَالَ هَذَا رَحْمَةً مِّن رَبِّي. This, said the king, this is a mercy from my sustainer. Now, Just imagine engineering and chemistry and physics and construction, all of this, he considered that to be a rahmah. He considered that to be a good thing. Why? And he said, why? Again, what is the thin line? The knowledge, the science, whatever skill set Allah has provided you with, when that is used for good, to help people. And if you notice here, didn't talk about whether these people are Muslims or not, whether these people are believers or not. No, a human being. When you are using what God had bestowed upon you, the knowledge, and you marry that with good character, with morality, that you're a person of faith, when these two come together, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying this is a mercy from God. This is what Quran the King said, this is a mercy from God. Why? Because your knowledge, instead of destroying, instead of ruining, what it does, it helps the people, it protects the people. And this is what another lesson, it is a knowledge. When the knowledge is used for good, you see, and the knowledge can be used for bad, what is the thin line between them is the purpose. Your purpose is to do the people right, not the purpose to do the people wrong. The same thing with the money. It is the thin line is the purpose. You're using the money to do good, not using the money to do bad. The same thing with the dialogue. The purpose is to reach the truth, not the purpose of to prove the other side is wrong. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept and guide us. I know we have a few minutes if anybody has any question, but I hope that it reminds us in whatever we do, the purpose is very important, our sincerity is very important, and everything we do in life, there's a thin line. What is the purpose? And if the purpose is right, then everything else can be guided to that. And if the purpose is not right, then guide us to the wrong thing. Thank you, Brother Asim. And if anyone has any question, I'll be more than happy to answer.
Thank you so much, Brother Hassan. I am looking at the chat box. I don't see any question other than saying very well explained. Jazakumullah khair, you enlighten us and we benefited from your knowledge. Thank you. Jazakumullah khair, Brother Hassan.
May Allah accept. Wassalamu alaikum.
Ameen wa alaikum salam. See you again, inshallah. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum. And I'm going to call the adhan, dear brothers and sisters, and we'll pray Salat al-Isha, inshallah.
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله اللهم رب هذه الدعوة التامة والصلاة القائمة آت محمدا الوسيلة والفضيلة والدرجة الرفيعة وابعثه مقاما محمودا الذي وعدته إنك لا تخلف الميعاد آمين والحمد لله رب العالمين. الحمد لله. الله الله أكبر الله أكبر. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح. قد قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة. الله أكبر الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله. الله أكبر. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين. اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. آمين. زين للناس حب الشهوات من النساء والبنين والقناطير المقنطرة من الذهب والفضة والخيل المسومة والأنعام والحرث. ذلك متاع الحياة الدنيا والله عنده حسن المآب. قل أنبئكم بخير من ذلكم للذين اتقوا عند ربهم جنات تجري من تحتها الأنهار خالدين فيها وأزواج مطهرة ورضوان من الله والله بصير بالعباد. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين. اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين. المال والبنون زينة الحياة الدنيا والباقيات الصالحات خير عند ربك ثوابا وخير أملا. ويوم نسير الجبال وترى الأرض بارزة وحشرناهم فلم نغادر منهم أحدا وعرضوا على ربك صفا لقد جئتمونا كما خلقناكم أول مرة بل زعمتم أن لن نجعل لكم موعدا. ووضع الكتاب فترى المجرمين مشفقين مما فيه ويقولون يا ويلتنا ما لهذا الكتاب لا يغادر صغيرة ولا كبيرة إلا أحصاها ووجدوا ما عملوا حاضرا ولا يظلم ربك أحدا. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. تحيات لله. السلام عليكم أيها النبي ورحمة الله. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. الله أكبر. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين. صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. التحيات لله. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. استغفر الله. استغفر الله. استغفر الله العظيم الذي لا إله إلا هو. اللهم السلام ومنك السلام تبارك يا ذا الجلال والإكرام. اللهم أعنا على ذكرك وشكرك وحسن عبادتك. اللهم أعنا على ذكرك وشكرك وحسن عبادتك. اللهم أعنا على ذكرك وشكرك وحسن عبادتك. اللهم أنت السلام ومنك السلام تبارك يا ذا الجلال والإكرام. سبحان الله والحمد لله ولا إله إلا الله والله أكبر ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الله لا إله إلا هو الحي القيوم لا تأخذه سنة ولا نوم له ما في السماوات وما في الأرض من ذا الذي يشفع عنده إلا بإذنه يعلم ما بين أيديهم وما خلفهم ولا يحيطون بشيء من علمه إلا بما شاء وسع كرسيه السماوات والأرض ولا يؤوده حفظهما وهو العلي العظيم. سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان الله. الحمد لله الحمد لله. الله أكبر الله أكبر الله. لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له له الملك وله الحمد يحيي ويميت وهو على كل شيء قدير. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسولنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. O Allah, you are our Lord. There is no deity except you, and you are our Creator. We ask you to grant us the good of this world and the hereafter. Guide us to the best of deeds and the best of morals, as none can guide to the best except you. Our Lord, give our souls piety and our conscience purity. You are the master of our souls and the guardian of our conscience. Grant us soundness of belief, goodness of character, forgiveness of our sins, and your eternal pleasure in the hereafter. O Allah, give quick healings for those who are sick. O Allah, please bless the souls of those who passed away. Forgive their shortcomings and mistakes, and accept them in the paradise. وصل اللهم على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. آمن الرسول بما أنزل إليه من ربه والمؤمنون كل آمن بالله وملائكته وكتبه ورسله لا نفرق بين أحد من رسله وقالوا سمعنا وأطعنا غفرانك ربنا وإليك المصير. لا يكلف الله نفسا إلا وسعها لها ما كسبت وعليها ما اكتسبت. ربنا لا تؤاخذنا إن نسينا أو أخطأنا. ربنا ولا تحمل علينا إصرا كما حملته على الذين من قبلنا. ربنا ولا تحملنا ما لا طاقة لنا به واعف عنا واغفر لنا وارحمنا أنت مولانا فانصرنا على القوم الكافرين. صدق الله العظيم. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين. الفاتحة. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين. اهدنا الصراط المستقيم الصراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. آمين. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept our prayers, our du'as, dear brothers and sisters. Thank you so much for joining us for tonight. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless you and protect you. And inshallah, have a great night and see you on Thursday at the same time at 8:30 p.m. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Peace be upon all of you, dear brothers and sisters.